What is going on, guys? Back with another video. So we have a big day tomorrow on the 7th of March. It is the crypto summit, and there's a lot of anticipation in terms of what is going to happen. At this stage, I think everyone is expecting, a sell the news event, but we're already, we haven't really rallied that much apart from Bitcoin, which is reclaimed 90K. Now, in terms of this summit, it is something which has potential to be absolutely huge, specifically for US based crypto coins, right? So you can see here, this was something which was announced at, very sort of quick. It caught a lot of people off guard. You can see here, immediate release on the 28th of February. White House to host first ever crypto summit. You can see here where it will basically have attendees from, prominent founders, CEOs, investors from the crypto industry. So, of course, this is going to be chaired by David Sachs, and it's going to be really interesting to see exactly what happens, right? So, there's a few different sort of articles in relation to who's going to be attending. I don't believe all of them are correct. There's this one here, which is basically saying, of course, Michael Saylor. You'll have a variety of different, exchanges here, the likes of Robinhood, Kraken, Crypto.com. You've also apparently got the CEO of Ripple, co-founder of Chainlink, and also, the US Securities and Exchange Commission, and also unconfirmed is Vitalik Buterin. You've got Charles Hoskinson from Cardano, and also the founder of Solana. And also, some people are saying Ondo will be there as well because, of course, they are held by World Liberty Fi. So at this stage, it's not 100% in terms of who's confirmed, and I guess it'll just really add to the uncertainty and anticipation of what's going to happen. Now, I think in terms of price action, hasn't really reacted too much to this because, of course, we've just seen every sort of news that comes out in relation to Trump. The market just is manipulated, and it's really drained the sentiment out of the market. But hopefully, this will be different. But of course, we haven't really got our hopes up too high. But there is the potential for some huge, huge bullish aspects for coins, particularly US coins. Now we've got this thing here from this Twitter account here. So, put some good content out there. So, make sure to drop a follow. So we've got two scenarios, of course. We've got the bullish scenario and we also have the bearish scenario. At this stage, I think everyone is prepared for the bearish scenario just because how the market has been playing out. But in terms of bullish scenario, we could have the potential for an expansion of the crypto strategic reserve. Of course, we saw the likes of Ripple, Solana, and Cardano be added. We have had some big news in relation to another altcoin, which I will talk about later in the video, and potential for tax incentives for crypto projects, obviously, which are going to be based within the US. We've seen with his tariffs, he's going to favor companies based in the US. A lot of companies who are based outside the US are moving their operations to the US to basically benefit from these tax benefits. So if we see tax benefits for US cryptos, we could see some projects move over to the US. We could see good sort of bullish aspects for projects within the US. And if we see some, improvements in terms of regulatory framework, just to maybe weed out some of the scams in relation to, the likes of pump fund, that could definitely be good for, altcoins and really just shift over the market sentiment. And of course, on the flip side, we could see, bad increased taxation for foreign projects. And we all know there are a lot of good altcoins which are not based in the US, and that could have an impact on them if tax sort of increased taxes are announced for projects outside of the US. And then also, if for example we see some projects which are excluded from the crypto reserve, that can also have a negative aspect. And then if the sort of summit is underwhelming, that is also going to really add to probably negative price action. So ultimately, guys, we're just going to have to wait and see exactly, what's going to happen. But as I've said, there is no point in selling at these levels. I do think there are some good coins you could potentially be looking into. Now, just recently, around an hour ago, we've had some huge, huge news in relation to SUI, guys. Now, we've got here SUI, who are partnering with World Liberty Fi, Trump's DeFi protocol. And this will basically include SUI in their strategic token reserve. And they will basically develop and explore various different product development opportunities. So this is absolutely massive for SUI, and I think this is really something which is going to completely transform the project. And also in the long term, this could be a good long-term investment because, to be partnered with World Liberty Fi, to be partnered with Trump, potential to be added to that crypto strategic reserve, which could be announced tomorrow. SUI is a very good project. I was already very bullish on SUI, but I think with this news, this is going to really improve the sort of confidence for investors to invest into, this project. And yeah, I think this is absolutely amazing for SUI. It's going to be one of the main layer ones in the USA, and I think you cannot go wrong with investing into SUI. In terms of its price action, has it had a huge, price increase following this news? Now, to be fair, it hasn't actually pumped that much now. If you were following the news earlier when we saw, Ripple, Solana, Cardano, we saw Cardano shoot up 80% in the space of a couple hours. So potentially we could see, some more news tomorrow in relation to SUI. And, I think very good levels to accumulate. Now, of course, guys, it isn't going to give you huge returns, but I can see this giving you potential of a 5 to a 10x. I think now with them being partnered with World Liberty Fi, a 10x is definitely on the cards for SUI. This is a project which you can see performing in the long run. And I've covered it many times before. Very bullish layer one, huge ecosystem, huge partnerships. And, in terms of what they're building, in terms of the products they're releasing, they also have their sort of, into the game narrative AI, DeFi, and now being partnered with World Liberty Fi is going to be very bullish for SUI. So for me, this is a very good hold in your portfolio. If you're looking for something stable, if you're looking for something which can potentially give you that 10x, I think SUI is a good investment. Now, of course, not financial advice. Now, the second one is Ondo. Now, Ondo is another project I'm very bullish on. It's still to be confirmed if we're going to have, people from Ondo talking at this summit. But of course, we will have the co-founder of World Liberty Financial, which do hold Ondo on their assets. It's not a huge amount of Ondo, guys, but for them to hold it on their, on their assets is something which is really bullish. And I think they're only going to continue to add to that balance sheet in terms of Ondo. Now, Ondo is an RWA Layer 1 project, which is very good. Now, 3.5 billion, and I think the growth potential for this project is insane. This is another project which I can see giving you a potential of a 10x. Obviously, that's going to be a bullish case, but that is still under the 40 billion market cap level. Now, the reason I like Ondo, guys, is due to the fact of their partners, their backers, the likes of Goldman Sachs. They've got MasterCard, they've got BlackRock, they've got Ripple, Franklin Templeton, Google. They have huge backers, and also the likes of World Liberty Financial behind them as well. So this is going to perform, guys, whether or not people like it or not. A lot of people are saying, it's got, huge backers in terms of the holders, early insiders, early investors. Now, that is, of course, the case, guys, but the growth potential from here for this project is huge, and at 3.5 billion for me, I'm continuing to DC into Ondo. I think the biggest wake-up call for this is when it had its massive unlock earlier this year, and instead of the price crashing, the price continued to increase. So, the next unlock is not for a long time from here, and I think with this news in relation to US-based cryptos, Ondo is really going to perform well. Now, also in relation to what they're trying to do in relation to Wall Street 2.0, this is going to be, revolutionary, groundbreaking for different stakeholders when it comes to investing. Now, for investors who will be on Ondo, what they're going to do is give them this whole Wall Street 2.0 feel. Now, they'll basically give them access to a variety of different global assets, anything you can think of, stocks, bonds, crypto. And the other thing with this as well is how they aim to be 24/7, 365, offering a variety of different markets, Asian markets, US markets, European markets. And there's also a lot of issues in relation to, fluctuations with currency when it comes to investing across different sort of markets, and also the fees. And what they're aiming to do with Wall Street 2.0 is basically allow settlement within seconds, and also reduction in the fees, and also just improvement in the overall investment market. Also, they're looking to offer better rates and different investment opportunities, whether that's different cryptos, whether it's RWA, whether it's stocks, whether it's bonds. So this is going to be huge. And I think, of course, they're going to continue to develop this. And on top of that, you can see for asset managers, it's going to give them access to more efficient fund administration, more reach, giving them a broader reach across different markets, and improvement and increased compliance in terms of AML and, KYC. So you can see just how they're planning to grow this whole ecosystem. And for developers, it's going to have easy integration. So, people who want to integrate this Wall Street 2.0, they're going to make it easy for different protocols to integrate this on board, and the assets, and of course compliance. And on top of that, guys, in relation to, the chain, the Ondo chain, which is going to be absolutely massive, again, gives investors exposure to a layer one and RWA, which are arguably going to be two of the most bullish aspects. On top of that being a US backed crypto, this really is going to be big, guys. So I'm seeing a lot of people who are talking about, should I, move out my whole portfolio into these US based cryptos? You shouldn't be doing your whole portfolio, guys, but I do think it's a good decision to have at least some exposure to, US based cryptos. And, Sui, Ondo, and the one at the end are my top three, in my opinion, in terms of risk to reward. So in terms of, the Ondo chain, you're going to see how big this is going to be. You can see here, institutional grade security, enhanced security via RWA staking. You've got here from the validators, connectivity into TradeFi liquidity. So really looking to build a big chain, which is going to onboard a huge amount of partners. And, the ecosystem they're going to build is going to be huge. And the main thing, the main difference with Ondo, when you look at the ecosystem, you've got the likes of these big VCs, you've got the likes of BlackRock, you've got the likes of Chainlink, Coinbase, um, huge companies who are partnering with Ondo, and the likes of these Halbern Security as well. So for me, guys, this is a no-brainer. I think what Ondo is going to do and the growth potential from here is insane. So for me, Ondo is a project which I think is going to be a good investment, and with it being on top of World Liberty Fi, is really going to perform well, guys. So Ondo would be the second coin I think can give you 10x from here. Of course, make sure you have a solid DC out strategy. Now, the third coin, of course, has been it's seen a bit of a hard time in terms of the price action over the past month, but I do still think this is a very good opportunity. Of course, we've seen the news in relation to Sui, but I do expect there is still space for Sai to be added to this strategic reserve. Now, something which is really interesting was we did see World Liberty Financial make a test purchase of around $125,000 on Ethereum of Sai. We did see a massive sort of price surge of around 10% in the price of Sai. And I think this is just a taster of what's to come. I do think they've obviously seen some potential in Sai. And I think, they will definitely look to potentially add this to the strategic reserve in the future. And the main thing is, guys, this is still a very low market cap and it has huge growth potential. And I've said previously, I still think this can give you potential of a 10 up to potentially a 15x. Now, why I like Sai is it's another layer one blockchain, very fast, it's very cheap as well. And they're also looking to improve, EVM compatibility issues. Already developed a big ecosystem, guys. And what you need to understand is these are very new projects, around 1 year old. And if you look at the ecosystem they've already developed, they've got some good projects developing on the ecosystem. They already have a good DeFi decentralized exchange in the form of DragonSwap. You've got other DeFi protocols as well. You've got AI, you've got data, DeFi, gaming, infrastructure, NFTs, memes. So you've pretty much got every single narrative covered in terms of this ecosystem. And they also have these different grants that they offer to developers. And I really do like what they're doing. Very fast layer one as well. And on top of that, it is US backed, US based. So there is also the potential it gets added to the crypto strategic reserve, which I do believe it will do. Just look at this, guys, how quick, we've seen, XRP, Solana, ADA. And this is a list which is going to continue to expand in the future. And I think a lot of these projects which I'm covering today will be added to that. Sui, it's just a matter of time. Ondo, Sai, I think they're all going to be added to, that list. And then the other good thing about Sai, it also, just like the likes of Ondo and Sui, it also has the opportunity to onboard, various different financial companies, institutes as well. Again, offer different, products for, financial products, asset management. So, real huge use case in terms of RWA as well. So yeah, guys, those are three projects I think are good buys right now. I think they can give you some good returns. And I think it's a good opportunity to get into them before they really do perform. So hope you enjoyed the video, guys. And, we'll just have to see exactly what happens in relation to this crypto summit tomorrow. And I think it's better to not have high expectations, but, if it does turn out to be bullish, then potentially we could see some good price action in the future. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you very soon for the next video.